Hey everyone, it's Lisa Sweeney here from Business in Heels, and I'm joined today by the amazing Megan Driscoll from Think Strategic and Megan Edwards from M Words, and both of them are presenters at our new up-and-coming Business Solutions Summit being held on the 22nd of October. So we thought it would be a great opportunity to chat to them and find out what they've been up to for the last little while, and maybe share with you some important tips that you can use on being strategic and on LinkedIn. So welcome Maxine and Megan.
Be presenting in Asia, so I very quickly created online webinars, free webinars, and I think I'm up to about my 60th webinar that I've given around the world. I've had over 40 people from 40 different countries attending my webinars, and that's been really exciting, and it's helped me to continue to learn and grow. I've really loved it. I love connecting with people, so I'm connecting with them, through technology, but sharing a lot of what I think, and yeah, it's been great. I've really loved it.
And welcome to you, Megan. You're obviously a LinkedIn master strategist, and you do amazing stuff with content and really help people get that profile and visibility. So tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
It's been much like Maxine, although I can't say 40 countries, but definitely you need to quickly go from in-room to online events, and most of that for me has been a combination of industry bodies wanting a little bit of guidance to their members who are floundering at the moment, and also supporting my existing audience by doing my own workshops in an online format, which has meant condensing quite substantially from full day to half day and that kind of thing. But really just keeping front of mind and keeping the conversation going so that people don't feel like you've fallen down a hole.
And I imagine, just in that condensing, you've had to bring a huge amount of energy to what you're doing. So you were telling us a little bit about something a little bit crazy you were doing this morning.
Somehow I seem to attract a lot of these interesting challenges on LinkedIn, and the latest one is Let's Move, which comes from a great place. It's encouraging people to be more active. So there's an international post going up fairly soon, and I was asked to contribute a few seconds of what I do to keep active, which in a Melbourne spring day, pouring rain, I chose the mini trampoline and belted out a few leaps on there while shouting "Let's move" at the same time. So it remains to be seen how that will show up on the edited version, but it should, it's good fun. It's good fun.
Yeah, it will be awesome.
Yeah.
So Maxine, since obviously COVID hit, you've been doing leadership in uncertain times, and you're moving, you've been segueing it. What's the latest one? You're doing these amazing webinars.
So in the beginning, I thought about VUCA, which is, and a lot of people don't know what VUCA is, so that's volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous times. And I thought, I will run some free webinars on uncertain times. So that was incredible. And then after a while, I thought, wow, we're out of the first wave and going into the second wave. So then I thought people are starting to think about the new normal. So then I segued into leadership for our new normal. And now I've been reading that people like Harvard Business Review and Deloitte are saying the new normal's a myth. There'll be no normal, it's our new reality. So then I'm now creating new webinars for leadership in our new reality. And I've really enjoyed researching and getting some ideas and then marrying the strategies that I have with that and sharing that with aspirational leaders all around the world, because it's a tough time for people in leadership roles, really tough.
Absolutely, which is why we've got you on for the Business Solutions Summit on the 22nd of October to talk about emotional intelligence and how that affects leadership. So give us a little bit of a sneak peek. What's going to be in the workshop and what can we expect?
I'm really passionate about this, and because as females, we actually are intuitively really good with emotional intelligence. And, like 20 years ago, people used to talk about hard skills and soft skills, which probably was defined by, and I never said this, I heard a man say this, but the pale, stale male people talk about emotional intelligence being soft skills. They're actually not. We really need emotional intelligence, and 58% of your job performance is dependent on your emotional intelligence, and 90% of top performers have a high EQ. So in the Business in Heels Summit, I'm going to talk about how you can ascertain your own emotional intelligence, actually assess yourself, and I'm going to use the 4 capabilities or the 4 competences of emotional intelligence, which are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. And you've really got to be competent in all of those 4 areas. So I'm going to share some assessments on how you can work out yourself if you've got a high emotional intelligence. And then I'm going to relate it to the 6 leadership styles that a lot of people think you need to have one leadership style. You need to be flipping in and out of 6 leadership styles every day, and how you can align those leadership styles to your emotional intelligence. So that's a little bit about what I'll be sharing.
That sounds like it'll be great. Very interactive by the sounds of it, and good takeaways for people. Yeah. So Megan, tell us a little bit. You're going to run a session all about LinkedIn and how you get more visibility. So tell us a little bit about what we can expect from your session.
It's really about using LinkedIn in the context not only of the current climate, but how to sustain that out the other side. There's a lot of inertia at the moment, a lot of nervousness because people don't want to seem insensitive. So if they haven't already begun creating content, they're definitely not doing it. And if they were creating, they've ground to a halt because they're not sure what to say, and therefore they end up saying nothing. So it's going to talk to debunking a few of the myths around that, because the stats have shown that there's a massive increase in the consumption of content on LinkedIn. It's just that people aren't necessarily visibly engaging. So helping people to write more creatively, to write more authentically. And I cringe to use the word authentic because it's overused, but coming from a more, as Maxine said, a more emotionally intelligent place, so that you are conscious in your message and you are aligned with your values and standards. You're not simply wobbling around trying to latch on to a buzzword like COVID-19 or telling sob stories to try and win an empathetic audience and that kind of thing. You're staying aligned with your true north. And just getting really clear on what the 1% are doing, the ones who make a commercial success of LinkedIn, which is a minuscule number of members. What are they doing right? So, lifting the veil a little bit around what their success strategies are so that people can start applying it straight away.
So only 1%. Gosh, what an opportunity for all of us, hey?
1% of 715 million people internationally.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scope for improvement, definitely.
Yeah, cool. And so Megan, if you had to give, if anyone wanted a tip right now on what they could do to do better on LinkedIn, what would you say to them?
I'd say go back to your website and get the bottom line there, the message of what you want to say, and then throw it out. Yes. Go on to LinkedIn, get the guts of it into your mind, and then go on to LinkedIn and write from your heart. You know what you're good at. You know how you help people. So start from where they're at, which every marketer tells you to do, but is not as easy to do as it is to say. And stop regurgitating your marketing collateral and your sales messages on LinkedIn, because it not only stalls, it sends you backwards.
Yeah, and my tip is don't add your new connections to your email marketing list. It's very annoying when you just make connections with people. Anyway, that being said, now, Maxine, we were chatting earlier about, emotional intelligence and how people are getting overwhelmed with negative thoughts. And you had a really great piece of advice. Would you like to share that with us?
So one of the things I do is I share strategies. That's why I've called my business Think Strategic. But so many people are out there at the moment, and it's interesting listening to Megan about that authenticity. So many people think that they can tell people what to do. And there's all these, you know, mindset coaches, personal coaches, whatever. But in actual fact, one of the really simple things that you can do is be aware of your own thinking. And as women particularly, one of the habits that hold us back, we're always trying to please, and we actually, when we think a negative thought, the way our brains work, we actually have dendrites and synapses, and we make connections, and you can only think one thought at a time. You can practice it, and when you try and think another thought, you actually push that original thought out. When you think a negative thought, you actually then make a connection to think another negative thought and another negative thought. And there are people out there that say that we think between 50 and 70,000 thoughts a day. So if you think a negative thought, it's going to connect to another negative thought. And it's that, you know, people dwell on it. People feel that they're in a negative mindset. There's this fantastic strategy that I use. It's called oppositional thinking. And it's, imagine you're an eagle soaring up in the sky, and the eagle's always looking for that little warm mammal that's running around to swoop down and grab. Well, the little mammal isn't aware of the eagle up there. And it's really important that you think about being that eagle and watch your mindset, because as soon as that negative thought comes in, I want you to use oppositional thinking and flip it. And whatever that negative thought is, if you can flip it to the exact opposite in an action, in other words, take a proactive action, because our brain loves to worry. When we worry, we're tricking our brain into thinking we're doing something. But if we actually flip it into a proactive action and go and do it, then we stop worrying and we have a really productive day. So be like the eagle and be really aware of your thinking. And when you find yourself thinking something negative, flip it straight away to the exact opposite as a positive action. So there's my tip.
Okay, so for the 715, the 99% on LinkedIn, if they flip their thinking that they could actually achieve something,
Yeah,
they could.
yeah.
Awesome.
Exactly.
So it's all set to be a magical day on Thursday, the 22nd of October. Thank you both very much for joining me and sharing some of those tips. And I can't wait to come to some of your workshops. It's going to be a great day and a fun experience where lots of people can get connected. So thank you very much, folks, for coming on board.
Absolute pleasure.